Hello everybody, my name is AhnoldRunningMan. I hope you guys are having a small time and all good things, yes of course. As you all probably know, I love The Division 2. It's my favorite game, and honestly, I believe it's the best looter shooter in the genre, and that's saying a lot considering this is pretty much a dead game in most people's eyes. However, since this video has come out, I am really weirded out by the current narrative surrounding the story and for the future updates of this game. However, there are some good, there are some bad. A lot of the bad is outweighing the good, and I'm going to talk about that. So let's get started.
Hello everyone, my name is Daria Ilina. I'm the community developer for The Division 2, and today I'm joined by Lauren Stone, our narrative director. Welcome, Lauren.
Thank you, Daria.
And I'm sure I speak on the behalf of the whole community when I say that Division 2 lore has got to be one of the most interesting aspects of the game, especially now that we've transitioned into year 5. I'd love...
Okay, here's the thing about that. She's correct. Daria is correct. The game is a very lore-driven game, and that is about it. Unless you have literally gone through all of the audio-video calls and every single echo in the game and have purchased the classified missions, you know pretty much everything to date in this game. The game does a very poor job of explaining this all to you without your own initiative to find these things.
for us to focus on the diversity and inclusion aspect.
And the reason why I mention that is because this game, it needs to have better ways of making you want to discover more stuff, which it does to some extent, but there are some things they could seriously improve on. More cutscenes, more involvement with characters that they're introducing right now, which a lot of the characters that they're introducing currently, you have no clue who these people are, but they expect you to know who they are.
Of the game and review a few character profiles.
Sure. In year 5, season 1, we're going to start with a Navajo pilot with PTSD.
Why is that important to know? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out, why that was the case. And yeah, playing and finishing the manhunt currently, yeah, you do find this out eventually. However, why is it important? I don't know. Why is it so important for you to know the flaws of a person currently that you're saving? I don't get, like, the only time a flaw should be known to you is if it's something that you should know when you're rescuing them. You know, like, oh, this person has high anxiety, so like relax when you go save him. Something like that. You know, instead PTSD and I was also a helicopter pilot. That's the most dangerous thing. That's the most dangerous combination to probably have. That's real here in a real life situation. That's fucking dangerous.
We've already met at the Mexican Embassy classified assignment, who's John Yazzie. And then we're going to...
And again, these characters in this manhunt, you're not going to know who these people are unless you purchased the classified missions. Unless you bought that, what was it? I think it was the year 1 pass. You're not going to know who these people are. They're briefly mentioned of video calls and echoes. Yeah, sure, but very briefly. And they're a one-off. You don't know who these people are.
To go to Eva Garcia. And then our Charlie target is Lauren Fong, who you may remember from a secret side mission with her girlfriend, Amanda Weeks. Amanda is deaf, and Lauren was her translator at college. And so we get to learn more about their relationship and how...
No, you don't. No, you don't. Not that it matters, but you don't. You just learn exactly what she just told you. That's it. That's all you learn. There's nothing more to it. Not that you care as a player, probably. That's a lie. You don't learn more about these people. If anything, in the manhunt currently, when you save everybody, you should be wondering, with Manny, why are these people being taken care of by the Black Tusk? You should be wondering, why are they okay? Why weren't they indoctrinated? Like, why weren't they interrogated? What's wrong? Why were they being so nice to? Or why were they even helping the Black Tusk? That should be your main objective. That should be your main thing to understand, why are these people so okay with the Black Tusk? What's going on currently? Instead we're focused on identity politics. We're focused on the wrong things here.
How they help and benefit our society and build our community at the castle.
And before we dive deeper into...
It's crazy to me that this world is an apocalyptic world, and the the one thing that we're worried about is the castle, rebuilding the castles as a community. Like, we're in a war zone. There is stuff there that's being protected by fucking Black Tusk labeled mortars. Okay? We should be more concerned as to what the hell are they trying to protect everybody else from. No, that threat of the Black Tusk, coming over with their Humvees, by the way, with their aircraft vehicles, which we now know they have, we should be more investigative of that.
To Division 2 lore, let's actually talk about what does a narrative director do.
So normally a narrative director is...
This scene makes me so mad. This cutscene right here. One, it's not in the game, barely. It's actually not in the game at all. This is a trailer to release. This is a trailer that released to show off this new season. That's cool. However, you never see a working Humvee in the game. Never. Helicopters, sure. Flying drones. But as far as vehicles go, this is something they never should have showed. Because this just alludes to the fact that, like, okay, vehicles do work in this world. We thought that all vehicles were just not working. Like they're massively EMP'd or just they just don't work. There's no point to it. Also, the roads are so cluttered that, like, why would you even bother trying to use a vehicle? But whatever.
Is responsible for the narrative, and so they sync with all the other directors to make sure that the story that we're telling is actually making it across. We work with different departments in order to make sure that the visual realization, the audio realization matches the intention of the story that we're driving. So we're an interdisciplinary wizard from time to time. And then on our project in particular, I also hold the lead writer and narrative designer position. So I help design the scripts, build the structure, and I write every script in the game and record with.
It's literally a solo job. She has no one telling her this may or may not be a good or bad idea. This may or may not need to be fleshed out more before actually putting it into the game. There needs to be a team involved here. And I don't think there is.
With all the actors and sometimes direct the sessions and so making the shape of the way that we...
But that's the fault of Ubisoft, not her. That's the fault of we need to be getting mad at the companies making this game, because literally all this tells me is that Division is so low budget that they can't even afford to give these teams a proper amount of people to spearhead this shit. Because she has little to no support to know whether or not is this a good story? Is this constructive enough to, like, put in the game? What is going on here?
Tell the story and that experience for the player.
And for as to your background, education, like what you started with before you got to Clancy AP.
Sure. I grew up a children's musical theater actor, so that's a weird background. And was an actor in LA for a very long time. Joined both unions in 2006, and then the WGA strike in 2008 made me go, I can't work without writers. Maybe I should switch sides of the table and start writing and do this on purpose. So I went back to school and got a degree in creative writing with a theater minor, and then ended up getting my first job in games as a voice actress. I was the voice of Lily and Becca in State of Decay. And then came to Ubisoft originally as an Ubi spouse. My ex-husband was headhunted to be the lead writer on Assassin's Creed Unity. And
That's
then
crazy.
Was in Montreal for a couple of years doing comedy and musical theater and being a general weirdo, running a small press, a literary journal, and getting plays produced in Montreal and LA. So I sent in a resume and a writing sample and got hired for an 8-week contract to help out on Rainbow Six Siege. And now it's been over 8 years and I'm still here and I'm in charge of the division. So from musical theater to Tom Clancy girl, I don't really know how that happened, but I like it and it's working out. So, and I get to work with beautiful, wonderful people like Daria. So
yeah, that's a very interesting transition.
Okay, you can say stuff like she probably doesn't know anything about the world, blah blah blah. She's still a writer. All right, she did the work and she's doing it. However, it has no support to bounce off ideas and to make sure that these stories not only make sense, but so that the player is engaged.
Yeah, not something that happens to ordinary people, I would say. But yeah, talking about Clancy, I know that you were in charge of a few characters on the Rainbow Six Siege.
yeah, of all of the main game in the first year, I helped shapecraft or was solely responsible for all of them. Pulse was the first character that I made, actually. And I looked at the character art that we had and went, all right, well, there's no reason this can't be a white passing person.
This is
of color.
gnarly.
And let's make him biracial and bisexual and use that coded language to make sure that that goes across everything, because we have bark trees that don't distinguish between genders. If he's flirtatious with everybody.
So she got her start from Rainbow Six Siege. Okay, which in my opinion, Rainbow Six Siege is pretty much the most important Ubisoft game currently. It's Ubisoft's Overwatch, essentially. It's their most important game. How she managed to be in charge of that during that aura where Pulse was created, before they got rid of Angela Bassett, the story Rainbow Six Siege was so good. It was mysterious. It was like intriguing to like find out more about the operators. After they got rid of Angela Bassett, it went downhill from after that. Like every single cutscene, every single thing that she voiced for her cutscenes were fucking phenomenal. The story was intriguing. You knew nothing, and you were just dying to find out more about these characters. Now I don't know what's going on with Rainbow Six Siege. Maybe that's the result of her leaving, maybe, but that just goes to show that she's more than capable of producing a good story.
So like the way that structure works is like everybody is default either ace or pan in terms of their sexuality, and then unless we define it elsewhere, like if you're going to make a blanket assumption of anybody in a game at Ubisoft right now, the way most of our games are structured, everybody's sexuality is either asexual or pansexual.
I don't know why that's important. I really don't. Playing politics here or whatever, I don't understand why this is important. Why does a player need to know this? Unless you're trying to romanticize these characters or have romantic mechanics in these games, why does it matter? I don't get it. And I've watched multiple videos, people talking about this. Like this is like a thing in games nowadays. But seeing it firsthand and experiencing in a game that I personally like, it's unnecessary and just not needed. I don't get it.
Until told otherwise. So if you want to make a like blanket assumption, be like, they like everything or nothing.
But Rainbow Six Siege is obviously not something.
It's not nothing. It's the fact that you're going after things that don't matter. Like there's no sauce to it.
We're going to promote here. We're here to talk about the Division 2. Yeah, and it's a well-known fact that Division 2 is one of the most progressive universes.
It is now. It is the most progressive games now. It was not before, because this was not even a topic back in the day. This was not even a thing back in the day. No one cared about this. Everyone just cared about that you were thrown into a war zone. The government of the United States is in shambles, and it's your job to figure out why. Figure out how to fix it and how to bring it back to normal. You know, they could have easily played on, oh, some people might not want that. You know, maybe people like the chaos. Maybe you should side with the hyenas. Maybe you should side with other guys. Instead, you know, these factions are built into the game for you to hate them and take them down.
When it comes to diversity and inclusion, right? So I remember listening to this one phone recording labeled out in the garment district, and that was a recording made by a young woman who was worried about the outbreak and decided to call her mother, because if anything happened to her, she wanted to come out to her mom and at least, you know, let that out. And it actually, you know, left a very long-lasting impression to me, because small things like that what matters, right? But is there any...
The thing that she's talking about, I know the exact recording she's talking about. It's a 5-part recording. And yeah, that builds the world. Stuff like that, which there's plenty of in the game, of echoes of potential dead people or alive people in the world. And that creates the world around you. That fleshes out like what kind of world you're living in, how fucked up it is. You know, Division 1 played on that so well that it was unforgettable.
Anything else you recall from Division 1 or Division 2?
Well, I think the hugest thing is that Jessica Candle sends you to get her ex-wife, right? Like, she doesn't send you to get her wife or her girlfriend. She sends you to get her ex-wife.
Because she's a caring person, probably. Right?
That even though that relationship dissolves, you still love and care about those people, and it matters. Just the fact that Jessica Candle is a key figure and is out. And I also believe is an out Jewish lesbian, right? So it's like,
How do you know this as a player? Is this at all mentioned? No. No, it's not. Nor is it even glorified on. No one knows this. She just pulled it out of her ass. No one knows this. No one cared about this. This is just her and saving her ex-wife, and that's that.
the representation is not just one-sided. It's not one event. And she's an incredibly capable woman, and that's a legacy I inherited, right? I didn't come into this until we had shipped. I came in to work on the post.
Jessica Candle, yeah, so Jessica Candle was a doctor in the first one. She was the badass doctor, by the way. Okay. That you actually remembered, kind of, a little bit. So I don't understand why this was important to say, because this was never her motive. This was simply just her trying to get the job done and get her people out.
Lunch content. I've been on the project since 2016 in one way or another, but like the people that we have and the characters that we created, like that's a legacy that was started before I ever came here. And I feel very honored to carry it on and to expand it and to make it more and more inclusive. But the division has always been that way.
Talking about the main cast,
Dude, Fei Lao is such a good character. How they butchered her, I still to this day don't fucking get. This is a character that stood by you throughout the entirety of the first one. This is a very important character. It makes no sense what we did to her, how we took her down. There was no paper trail. There was no further investigation of what she was trying to accomplish. It was simply Fei Lao bad, hunt her down. That's it. Kelso finds a laptop and then finds out all these details, but nothing beyond that point. How you do this to such a built-up character? It feels like they just put it in the trash and then called it a day. They call it a night. That's it.
Fei Lao got to be one of the characters who are officially out since she publicly commented on it. Spill the tea.
I think most people would assume that Faye is a lesbian, but
No. Absolutely no one did. Tell me otherwise. Absolutely no one did.
she is pansexual, which is, I think, more fun for me. The relationship that we get to know the most about with her is actually her relationship with Bridget Douglas, who was Viper, I believe. Like Viper or Cersei. Now I'm having code name.
She's talking about the recordings that you find along the way in the Wony DLC, the Warlords of New York DLC. She's talking about the voice comms of her interrogating rogue agents, or now rogue agents. She's interrogating her friends, trying to find out why they went rogue. Is the grass greener over there? What's going on? Why do you hate the division all of a sudden? It was her prerogative to find out why this was the case. And this was the player's prerogative to find out. This was their objective, to find out what was happening. Why are these people going rogue all of a sudden? Never at all did I think, oh, did Fei Lao really like this person? Is that why she's going after it? No. It was simply trying to figure out the exact thing that she was trying to figure out. Why are her friends turning against her and turning rogue?
Brain farts, sorry. But yeah, so from season 4 of her Manhunt. So we're gonna learn.
Also, Fei Lao is very mission driven. Go back in Division 1 and go to the mission where you have to save her sister. This was such a mission driven mission. She was like, I don't care what you gotta do. Take down all those motherfuckers and bring my sister back. Thanks, Agent. You know, like, it was simply that. She was completely mission driven.
Learn more about that relationship as time.
And what inspired you to make other couples like Amanda Weeks and Lauren Fong, and also Mel and Jack Arnold?
Okay. Mel and Jack are my fault.
And the reason why I'm saying this is because she's trying to build this narrative of these people and their relationships and what these people within the story feel. She's doing a poor job because I have never cared about this. And if it was her job to essentially make me wonder what they like in the world, she did a poor job.
So I will take credit for Mel and Jack. Amanda and Lauren were done when I was on parental leave. And so I came back to find a Asian woman named Lauren. And I'm an Asian woman named
Coincidence.
Lauren taking care of their disabled partner. And I have my ex-husband's disabled. And I'm like, y'all miss me? And then just make them lesbians and deaf instead of arthrogryposis? Like,
This is a low-key self-insert, but whatever.
yeah. So yeah, I can't take credit for Lauren and Amanda. But before Trick left the project, she expressed to me that she would love to see those characters come back. And so even though Trick is no longer at Ubisoft, it was really important to me to bring back that character because that was a request from Trick.
Absolutely, yeah. I had no idea. I'm learning new things.
See, where is this cutscene in the game? It's not. Like, where is this further dramatization of Fei Lao being evil?
Every day. Mostly from Lauren, by the way. That's
I like that you.
See, like, Fei Lao's up there giving a speech to Black Tusk. Like, there's no calm of that. This is a part of the trailer they showed off to show off the season at the time, but none of this was in the game.
You sit behind me and like
got to listen to everything and like write down. Okay, that's probably important.
wells too deep. It's just.
I mean, but that's partially the reason of why I wanted to have this podcast with you, because I think that's a lot of a profound knowledge, like an abundance of knowledge that you can share with the community.
Yeah.
And you can't tell me that they can't do this. Look at Warlords of the New York when you fight Dragov. That entire playthrough of hunting him down is the process of him talking to his teammates and rising them up, hyping them up to take down the division that are currently invading his place. We couldn't have any of that with the Fei Lao mission. Nothing. And she was the final boss, which they do most of their hard work on the final boss of the manhunts. You can't say that they couldn't have done this. They could have easily added way more stuff than what they did. I'm still pissed at how they treated Fei Lao, how she was just thrown away, and nothing built on that.
But talking about transmedia, you mentioned that you're also overseeing transmedia titles.
Yes.
Any queer characters that come to mind?
Oh yeah, the novel is full of them. And actually Thomas kind of like baited Twitter about the sexuality of the characters, and he talked about his headcanon, so I slipped into his DMs and was like, Thomas, this is what I think. And he's like, oh, that's better than what I thought before. I was like, all right, cool. And
Why does it matter? I don't. It's being inclusive with being exclusive, if that makes any sense.
so yeah, no, pretty much the only person that is heterosexual is Colin, and I refer to him as aggressively heterosexual.
Aggressively heterosexual? Really? The one heterosexual male is aggressively sexual? Really?
Everybody else is not. We have a lesbian.
So everybody's just level-headed then. Everyone's just level-headed. After being caught with the Black Tusk, that's a better question to ask. Okay, the people that were taken by the Black Tusk, they're totally level-headed. They have issues, PTSD, and a helicopter pilot. Totally level-headed. Totally.
Bisexual character, a pansexual character, and and an ace character. So I'll let.
What? Can someone explain to me what the fuck is an ace character? I have no fucking clue who the fuck that is, or what the hell that is.
You have fun trying to guess who's who, because I think that's.
So this is just a mind game. It's just for you to figure out whose sexuality is. Why is it your job as a player to find out who these people are, when you should just be focused on, oh, I don't know, this apocalyptic world that we're trying to fix and trying to survive in?
It's more interesting.
And we're talking about compromised or
And recruited.
and
So in Colin and the Pan character are new characters in Compromised, and the other ones are all in both novels.
Yeah, let's just take a moment to advertise Thomas Perrett's novels. If you haven't read them, I highly recommend both Compromised and Recruited. They're really awesome.
And if you are a
Again, look at these covers, and then think about the comment she made. How is this supposed to make you think? Oh, what do these characters gender identify? You know, I don't get that. I get that these people are investigating these fires. These people are investigating these. The world is burning to the ground. You know, I get these agents are trying to bring us back to normal.
lorehead, there are ties that I've created in the game to the novels that it's not required reading.
And it's not character depth. All right, learning people's things, wants. I guess that's not character depth. Character depth is how they react in the world and how they are in the world. That's character depth. How you eventually learn what they like in the world. That should be something that's not focused on. That should be something that should be like slowly but easily eased into. Instead, it's like how she said that does not give me the vote of confidence to go out and read these books. I don't want to read these books. If that's all it's about.
But there will be things that make you go, oh, that? Okay. So,
Spoilers.
season 11 came out. We already know. Like, St. Louis, man. Salads. All the salads.
Yeah, we're getting St. Louis DLC, and Black Tusk have their hands on a fake nuke. That's about it.
Don't.
So many thanks for joining
Or potentially a real nuke. Who knows?
me today to talk about the Division 2 narrative, and especially
But that doesn't matter. They have weapons like this shown off in the cutscene. that should be more dangerous than knowing that they have a nuke. If they have a nuke, who cares? They already have enough destructive firepower to blow up the White House and more if they wanted to. But, let's make them more terrifying, I guess.
your representation, diversity and inclusion is very important, and I feel honored to work on the Division 2 as a title. And to summarize everything, let's finish off with some advice for aspiring designers, and who knows, maybe even seasoned industry veterans.
Okay, then we're gonna talk about how they're gonna talk about how they got into Ubisoft, blah blah blah, their history and stuff like that. Not really vital to this description of this what I'm talking about, but yeah, this season currently makes no fucking sense. Playing through it all, Manny did a whole 180. Okay, and if you don't know who Manny is, which is really surprising, he's a really annoying dude that yells at you throughout the entirety of the main campaign of Division 2. All right, if you don't remember that. And for some reason, the last Manhunt character that we have to go save, quote unquote save, which by the way, this Manhunt sucked. Okay, I expected something like, I don't know, escort them out safely to a helicopter. No, I was expecting something along the lines like getting them out of a safe room, something along like actually seeing them maybe in the mission. No, you don't. Except Mari, the last Manhunt character, was the last one we actually get to save, and was the only one so far that we actually see at the very end. Manny totally does a 180 and suggests and agrees to maybe hand over the White House to the Black Tusk. Are you kidding me? The dude that hates the Black Tusk with all ounce of his, with all power of his masculinity, hates the Black Tusk and just does a 180 just because they took his pregnant girlfriend. Are you kidding me? And it could be argued as, oh no, it's because Manny has problems. He has a phobia of all this because he freaks out. That's why he's not on comms talking to Mari and stuff like that. And because when you're trying to save Mari, she explains maybe that's a good idea that Manny's not on comms. Maybe, yeah, because if something happens to me, he's gonna freak out. It's like, maybe you should not have this person be in charge of everything. Just maybe. I don't know. That just sounds not smart in a real life situation. She can easily write a story. Rainbow Six Siege is proof of that. And granted, before she came on, Division 2 had no content. Now we do have content. It might be garbage, but at least we have content. At least. As of going forward, though, for me personally, as long as the gameplay doesn't change, I think I'm going to complete. I think I'm just going to keep on playing for the gameplay alone, and that's it. The story is in the gutter, and I don't know why they're focusing on these particular things when we should be focused on the reason why there is a faction called the Hunters. We should be talking about and trying to figure out why the Black Tusk have their own AI that we're just now finding out about, and why a YouTuber named the NGN is the only one that explains this to you. Now, yeah, it's in the game. It is in the game, and it is explained in the game. However, it's so explained briefly, you don't know jack shit about it. Tell me you knew about that before watching NGN videos, NGN lore videos. Why are there different factions fighting against different things? Why did Black Tusk have their hands in shaping most of the other factions within the game? You know, the conspiracy theory that they're a part of most of the problems currently. Instead, we're focused on genders. We're focused on who likes who in the world. We're quote unquote fleshing out the world before your very eyes because of what people like and don't like. Inclusivity. I feel so inclusive when I'm not playing this game for that. And it could be argued that this is just a way for world building, but you have to know the audience by now. The audience that plays this game, I would say 90% of the time, don't even care about this or even realize half this shit. They only play this for the conspiracy thing of most Tom Clancy media. Look at any Tom Clancy like media, like movies, shows, anything with the name Tom Clancy. It's all about conspiracy, espionage, government ties, and investigations. Like, that's what it's all about. And that's what this game has done up until now. We have completely just forgot about that. Or they have just completely forgot about that. We're caring about the wrong things here. I want to know, I want to know as a player, as why, when these people were taken to the Black Tusk, why were they just shepherded in right away? Why weren't they, I don't know, hospitalized? Why weren't they taken into care? Why weren't they investigated? Why weren't they, I don't know, checked to make sure there's no like bombs in their bodies or some shit like that? You know, something? Why is Kelso in New York so much? That's briefly explained. I love this game. And no other game in this genre does the looting shooting like this. No other game actually appreciates your time. Grant, no other Destiny 2 has nothing on this fucking game, dude. And that's saying something, because Destiny 2 has a lot of content. Cool. However, if you played this game, you're going to know what I'm talking about. Call of Duty can't do it right. Other games with third-person shooting can't do it right. The fact that you can aim down sights, and while aiming down sights, you can press shift and it'll switch shoulders. No other game does that. Find me a game that does that. It doesn't work for some reason. Not even Division Heartland that's coming out soon. Is that like a really hard thing to achieve in these games? Like, I've actually taken it upon myself to learn Unreal Engine just to figure that out. And I can't even figure out the third-person camera the way this game does. I can achieve a third-person camera on the level of Modern Warfare 2, but that's about it. I want to achieve the camera setup of Division 2. That exact way, the way it follows you around and the way it moves with your character. I want to match that exact gameplay if I were to make a game like that. Maybe because I just need to spend more time in the oven. I don't know. But I can't seem to fucking figure it out. Alright. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please let me know what you guys think in the comments. I really think that this game's in trouble. I mean, it has been for a while. We all know this. But I really don't want to see this game be thrown away. Ubisoft has a golden goose, and they have no fucking clue, and it sucks. And I love this game. I love this franchise. I'll catch you guys later. My name is AhnoldRunningMan. If today was your birthday today, or any other day I don't decide to YouTube, I don't decide to stream or upload on YouTube, then happy freaking birthday. Autobots, transform and roll out.